T-Rex wasn't just big, it was the Tyrant Lizard King. Ready for over 10 minutes of jaw-dropping dinosaur moments? Quick, what do you picture first, teeth, roar, or tiny arms? Let's discover how T-Rex actually lived, hunted, and survived. It roamed North America in the late Cretaceous, long before humans. Imagine river plains, forests, and coastlines buzzing with prey. Its body stretched over 40 feet, about a school bus length. At the hips, it stood taller than most basketball hoops. Weight? Several tons, think more than one big elephant. Those legs were power pillars built for striding on 2 feet. A long tail worked like a counterweight to keep balance. The skull was massive, built like a living battering ram. Teeth the size of bananas, thick, serrated, bone-crushing. One bite could snap bone and tear through tough flesh. But the jaw wasn't just strong, it was shock-absorbing. Openings in the skull helped reduce weight and stress. Eyes faced slightly forward for depth perception while hunting. Hearing was sharp, especially low rumbles and distant footsteps. Its sense of smell? Off the charts for finding food. T-Rex likely walked fast rather than sprinted like a cheetah. A steady, energy-smart pace is perfect for long patrols. Speed isn't everything when you can track an ambush. Those tiny arms were short, but thick and muscular. Claws could hook, grip, and brace at close range. Arms weren't for push-ups, they were for hold and slash moments. Some scientists think females may have been a bit bigger. Wider hips could help with egg-laying and strength. T-Rex wasn't picky, hunter when it could, scavenger when it should. If a free meal appeared, it wouldn't say no. Bite marks on T-Rex bones hint at cannibal encounters. Top predators sometimes compete, and sometimes become dinner. How do we know? Fossils are nature's ultimate clue trail. Teeth marks, bone texture, and healed injuries tell stories. Growth rings in bones reveal age and growth spurts. Many T-Rexes likely reached their prime in their teens. Some lived close to 3 decades, long for a giant predator. It shared its world with armored and duck-billed dinosaurs. Picture the stalk, the rush, the sudden ambush. Powerful legs carried it over muddy floodplains. A thick tail pulsed left-right to stabilize each stride. Its head led the charge, the rest followed the bite. Was it a solo hunter or did it team up? Sites with multiple skeletons suggest possible group behavior. Maybe family patrols, maybe a chance gathering after a flood. Science weighs clues and tests ideas again and again. Every new fossil reshapes the story we tell. Even the tiny arm mystery is still being studied. Some ideas: gripping prey, helping it rise, steadying a bite. Teeth weren't for slicing like knives, they were crunchers. Crushed bone fragments show up in fossilized dung. That means T-Rex could extract nutrients from bone. Now a quick quiz, ready? Which is longer, many T-Rexes or a school bus? Answer: they're comparable. T-Rex often reaches bus length. Were females possibly larger than males? Evidence suggests yes, especially in hip bones. Hunter, scavenger, or both? Best answer: both, depending on opportunity. Picture the late Cretaceous sky, hot, humid, stormy. Rivers shift course, leaving mud and buried remains. Fossils form when sediment locks bones away from decay. Paleontologists map, measure, and compare with living animals. They use CT scans to peek inside rock-bound skulls. Digital models test bite force and walking efficiency. Not every roaring scene means a sprinting monster. A patient stalker can be even more dangerous. T-Rex jaws weren't just clamping, they twisted and tore. Teeth replaced throughout life kept the toolkit sharp. The tongue likely wasn't a lizard-style whip, more anchored. Skin impressions suggest pebbly textures in some areas. Feathers? Maybe on young relatives. Debate continues for adults. Imagine a juvenile, faster, lankier, learning the ropes. As it grew, power outpaced speed and agility. The ecosystem balanced giants with herds and armor. Each adaptation answered a survival challenge. Even tiny arms fit the big picture design. The legend of T-Rex keeps evolving with new finds. Science is a moving story, not a fixed script. What's your best T-Rex hypothesis? Pack hunter or solo ace? Drop your theory and the evidence you'd use. If you love giant jaws and giant mysteries, say so. Curiosity is the real king. Keep asking bigger questions. Want more ancient predators and lost worlds? Stick around. The fossil record has plenty left to roar. But wait, let's go deeper into the king's toolkit. Bite force estimates reach mind-bending levels in tests. Thick tooth roots anchored like living railroad spikes. The upper jaw locked prey while the lower jaw crushed. Neck muscles added extra power to every bite. A shock-absorbing skull spread forces safely through bone. The nasal passages wound like a maze inside the snout. That maze boosted smell and cooled incoming air. Air sacs likely lightened the body and aided breathing. Hollow spaces in vertebrae reduced heavy weight. Less weight means more endurance on long patrols. Endurance favors a hunter that shadows herds for days. Shadowing means timing attacks when prey is weakest. Flooded ground or steep banks could tip the odds. T-Rex feet bit into mud like cleats during a charge. Clawed toes gripped, stabilized, and pivoted quickly. Tail momentum helped swing the body into a turn. A sudden lunge turned into a bone-crunching clamp. Prey like hadrosaurs and ceratopsians felt the pressure. Armor and horns tried to answer the tyrant's attack. Sometimes prey escaped. Scars show survivors healed. Healed bite marks prove clashes didn't always end in death. Injuries also show T-Rex lived a rough, risky life. Ribs knit back together from fractures in old adults. Skull bones show infections and battle damage. Yet survivors kept hunting through pain and age. Metabolism clues hint at a high-energy lifestyle. Fast growth spurts mark teenage dino growth booms. Those booms demanded huge amounts of food daily. Scavenging filled gaps when hunts failed or prey hid. Scents carried across plains led to fresh opportunities. A dead giant could feed a tyrant for days. Competition around carcasses sparked tooth-to-tooth brawls. That's where cannibal bite marks may have come from. Group feeding frenzies turned into dominance contests. Dominance meant first bites, best cuts, most marrow. Younger tyrants waited or darted in between giants. Juveniles probably targeted smaller, faster animals. As bodies bulked up, prey choice shifted to larger targets. Different ages may have divided the menu to avoid conflict. That division helps more T-Rexes share the same territory. Territory size likely stretched for miles and miles. River corridors acted like dinosaur highways. Seasonal droughts forced herds to cluster near water. Clustered herds became high-reward hunting grounds. Storms and floods reshaped the land overnight. Sudden floods trapped animals, creating mass bone beds. Bone beds are time capsules for future scientists. The king left footprints, bones, and the occasional tooth. Teeth shed naturally, like sharks during a lifetime. Shed teeth become tiny timestamps in ancient mud. Tooth counts and sizes help ID which dinosaur passed by. Coprolites, fossil poop, preserve splintered bone inside. Those splinters prove real bone crunching happened. Microscopic slices of bone show growth rings and healing. Growth rings let scientists estimate age at death. Some rings are thick, fast years, some thin, lean years. Lean years may reflect drought or fierce competition. Weather shaped behavior just like it shapes us today. Hot spells pushed animals to shade and water. Cooler nights may have favored quiet patrols. Low-frequency hearing helped detect distant movement. Forward-facing eyes created a strong 3D view. Depth perception sharpened aim during the final lunge. A wide chest anchored colossal breathing muscles. Oxygen in, power out. Repeat for miles of stalking. Bone-crushing meals delivered calcium for repairs. Repairs kept hunters in the game after rough fights. Fossil skeletons show variation from one individual to another. Some skulls are more robust, some a bit slender. Differences may mark age, sex, or local adaptation. The famous skeletons tell personal stories through bone. A giant nicknamed Sue shows healed injuries and power. Another giant, Scotty, suggests extreme size and age. Each skeleton adds puzzle pieces to the T-Rex picture. Museum mounts freeze a moment. Science reads the motion. Computer models recreate muscles and tendons. Simulations test walking speeds and turning rates. Trackways record real strides across ancient mud. Stride length plus hip height estimates walking pace. The numbers favor endurance over flat-out sprints. Endurance wins when ranges are huge and prey is wary. Apex status didn't mean invincible, just very, very effective. Disease and injury still claimed even the strongest. Old age slowed reflexes and dulled the edge. Nature recycles giants into soil, stone, and stories. Fossilization is rare, discovery is rarer still. Every dig season risks weather, time, and luck. When bones surface, careful tools replace brute force. Brushes, picks, plaster jackets, precision saves data. In the lab, microscopes reveal secrets hidden in rock. Digital scans preserve fossils for future generations. Shared data lets scientists double-check conclusions. Ideas stand if evidence stands, otherwise they change. That's the beauty of science. Update when new facts arrive. So where does that leave our Tyrant Lizard King? A bone-crushing bite, elite senses, endurance to roam. Arms that may be small, but perfectly purpose-built. A body plan tuned for balance, power, and patience. A life lived in a world of storms, herds, and hazards. A story written in scars, teeth, and ancient mud. Ready for a second speed quiz? Could T-Rex smell a carcass from far away? Yes, huge olfactory regions suggest a scent superpower. Was it more likely to jog or sprint long distances? Jog. Efficient walking fits the evidence best. Did it only hunt alone? Not necessarily. Some sites hint at group activity. Would those arms help in wrestling a struggling prey? Likely. Grip, brace, and hold under the skull. Could juveniles and adults hunt different targets? Yes. Age classes likely split roles across the ecosystem. Did T-Rex rule every continent? No, its known kingdom was North America. How long could one individual live? Roughly 3 decades in the best-case scenarios. What finally ended the Age of Giants? A mass extinction reset the planet's living caste, but that's another episode for another day. Here's your mystery scene. 3 T-Rexes found together. Same orientation, close spacing. What's your hypothesis? Pack patrol caught by flood? Drought, death near a shrinking waterhole? Coincidence after scavenging the same carcass? Pick one theory and argue with evidence in the comments. Remember, good science loves good explanations. Use clues, bones, marks, layers, and location. Now bring it home. What makes T-Rex unforgettable? It's the fusion of power, patience, and precision. The king didn't need to be fastest, only inevitable. A steady approach, a perfect moment, a final bite. From nose to tail, every part played its role. Even the tiny arms had a job in the plan. From hatchling to heavyweight, it mastered its world. And we're still learning from every new discovery. If this trek through Tyrant territory thrilled you, say so. Subscribe for more ancient predators and lost worlds. Share this with someone who loves giant jaws. Drop your favorite T-Rex fact below. Tell us what we should explore next. Thanks for traveling the late Cretaceous with us. The fossil record still has plenty left to roar. See you in the next dig adventure.